Bem-vindo ao Deep Dumps. No Deep Dumps, nossa missão é ajudá-lo a passar nos exames de certificação com confiança. Acesse os exames de prática mais recentes, PDFs e testes online, sempre atualizados conforme os padrões reais. Com nosso material pronto para o exame, você terá os recursos certos sempre à mão. Milhares de alunos confiam no Deep Dumps, e muitos conquistam a aprovação já na primeira tentativa. Oferecemos suporte 24 de julho por e-mail ou chat ao vivo. E nossos especialistas estão prontos para esclarecer dúvidas e orientá-lo passo a passo. Baixe as perguntas e respostas em PDF. Pratique com questões de qualidade e explicações claras. E avance rumo ao sucesso garantido.
Question 1. What is the term used to describe the cost of the solution after the solution has been implemented in production by a vendor? Option A. Total ownership costing. Option B. Lifecycle maintenance fees. Option C. Sustainability fees. Option D. Total cost of ownership. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Total cost of ownership. Question 2. Enterprise analysis creates just 5 outputs. Which one of the following is an output of the enterprise analysis tasks? Option A. Assumptions and constraints. Option B. Stakeholder concerns. Option C. Solution performance assessment. Option D. Solution approach. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Solution approach. Question 3. All of the following stakeholders participate in the prioritization of requirements except for which? 1. Option A. Implementation subject matter expert. Option B. Project team. Option C. Domain subject matter expert. Option D. Project manager. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Project team. Question 4. You are the business analyst for your organization. Management has asked that you create a model of the requirements so the stakeholders can better understand the requirements and the project as a whole. Which of the following statements best describes a model? Option A. Models are slices of the project solution. Option B. Models simplify the requirements for common stakeholders. Option C. Models are statistics for the return on investment, time saved, and other mathematics. Option D. Models abstract and simplify reality. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Models abstract and simplify reality. Question 5. What plan will describe the stakeholder groups, communication needs, and the level of formality that is appropriate for the requirements? Option A. Requirements Management Plan. Option B. Project Management Plan. Option C. Scope Management Plan. Option D. Business Analysis Communication Plan. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Business Analysis Communication Plan. Question 6. You are the business analyst for a smaller project where there are few requirements. Management would still like you to create a method to trace the few requirements for this project. What type of matrix would be best in this instance? Option A. Roles and responsibility matrix. Option B. RACI matrix. Option C. Coverage matrix. Option D. Requirements trace matrix. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Requirements trace matrix. Question 7. You are the business analyst for your organization and have many solutions available to an identified problem. You would like a way to quickly and fairly determine which solution is the best choice for your organization. Which of the following approaches would allow you to determine the top-rated solutions for your organization? Option A. Scoring system. Option B. Acceptance and evaluation criteria. Option C. Vendor assessment. Option D. Voting system. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Acceptance and evaluation criteria. Question 8. When an organization is using a change-driven approach to business analysis, how are communications managed? Option A. Communications in a change-driven approach to business analysis focus more on the frequency of communication. Option B. Communications in a change-driven approach typically use face-to-face channels. Option C. Communications in a change-driven approach focus more on formal communications. Option D. Communications in a change-driven approach are all ad hoc. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Communications in a change-driven approach to business analysis focus more on the frequency of communication. Question 9. You are the business analyst for your organization. Management has asked that you create a method to store the project requirements, including those under development, under review, and the requirements which have been approved. What is management asking you to create? Option A. A change management system. Option B. A repository. Option C. A project scope statement. Option D. A requirements register. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. A repository. Question 10. You are the business analyst for your organization and working with Tim to identify the assumptions within the business solution. Which one of the following is an assumption? Option A. The vendor believes the hardware should arrive by December 1st. Option B. The software must be compatible with Windows Vista. Option C. The software must cost less than $99 per license. Option D. The hardware must cost less than $450 per unit. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. The vendor believes the hardware should arrive by December 1st. Question 11. You are working with Terry on the conduct stakeholder analysis task as part of the business analysis duties in your company. Terry wants to know why it's so important to identify stakeholders so early in the business analysis duties. Which one of the following statements best addresses the need to identify the stakeholders early on in the business analysis duties? Option A. It's important to identify the stakeholders so the business analyst knows who to report to. Option B. It's important to identify the stakeholders so the business analyst knows who to bill for the project. Option C. It's important to identify the stakeholders so the business analyst can help ensure the timely delivery of the requirements. Deliverables. Option D. It's important to identify the stakeholders so the stakeholders know who the business analyst is. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. It's important to identify the stakeholder so the business analyst can help ensure the timely delivery of the requirements. Deliverables. Question 12. Nancy has asked you to trace a particular requirement for her. What does "to trace a requirement" mean? Option A. Tracing a requirement means to look at a requirement and the others to which it is related. It links risk, cost, quality, and scope elements to stakeholder and solution requirements to other artifacts created by the team into solution. Components. Option B. Tracing a requirement means to look at a requirement and the others to which it is related. It links business requirements to stakeholder and solution requirements to other artifacts created by the team into solution. Components. Option C. Tracing a requirement means to look at a requirement and the others to which it is related. It links business requirements to components in the project's work breakdown structure. Option D. Tracing a requirement means to track a requirement from its first identification all the way to its completion to see what issues, risks, costs, quality, and defects have surrounded the requirement. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Tracing a requirement means to look at a requirement and the others to which it is related. It links business requirements to stakeholder and solution requirements to other artifacts created by the team into solution. Components. Question 13. When do change requests generally increase in a project? Option A. During the project's launch. Option B. Towards the beginning of the project. Option C. During the project scope management processes. Option D. Towards the end of the project. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Towards the end of the project. Question 14. Ben is the business analyst for his organization. Ben is currently working on a solution to improve a laser printer. He has taken the laser printer apart, identified each component, and documented each component's purpose. What type of requirements organization is Ben doing in this scenario? Option A. Process modeling. Option B. Data modeling. Option C. Functional decomposition. Option D. Scope modeling. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Functional decomposition. Question 15. Fred's organization is using a plan-driven approach for the business analysis deliverables. In this approach, how will the requirements be captured? Option A. Fred will use the appropriate documentation at the discretion of the business analysis team. Option B. Fred will use the project management information system. Option C. Fred will use whatever business analysis forms are most appropriate. Option D. Fred will use standardized templates. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Fred will use standardized templates. Question 16. What part of defining the business needs process will evaluate the ends that the organization is seeking to achieve? Option A. Business goals and objectives. Option B. Alternative identification. Option C. Solution assessment. Option D. Requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Business goals and objectives. Question 17. What type of a business analysis approach focuses on the rapid delivery of business value in short iterations? Option A. Risk-driven. Option B. Change-driven. Option C. Risk-laden. Option D. Profit-driven. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Change-driven. Question 18. Wanda is the business analyst for her organization and she is currently working on the specify and model requirements process. One of the elements of this process is the documentation of the textual requirements. Wanda must describe the capabilities of the solution, any conditions that must exist for the requirements to operate, and what third component of the textual requirement. Option A. Any constraints that may prevent the solution from fulfilling the requirement. Option B. Write in the active voice. Option C. Describe a situation or problem. Option D. Express only one requirement at a time. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Any constraints that may prevent the solution from fulfilling the requirement. Question 19. The business analysis approach generally defines all of the following attributes except for which? 1. Option A. Requirements for solutions acceptance. Option B. Deliverables. Option C. Team roles. Option D. Analysis technique. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Requirements for solutions acceptance. Question 20. Gary is the business analyst for his organization and he is preparing a presentation about the requirements for a large software development project. Before Gary makes the presentation, what should he do as part of his preparation for the presentation? Option A. Determine an appropriate format for the presentation. Option B. Confirm that he has the authority to host the presentation. Option C. Confirm that the stakeholders have signed off on the requirements. Option D. Hire a scribe to keep the minutes of the meeting. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. Determine an appropriate format for the presentation. Question 21. You are the business analyst for your organization and are creating the solution scope definition. Which of the following should be included in the solution scope definition? Option A. Business case. Option B. Technical dependencies. Option C. Elicitation techniques. Option D. Organization readiness assessment. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Technical dependencies. Question 22. What business analysis element tries to identify as many potential options as possible to meet the business objectives and fill identified gaps in capabilities? Option A. Ranking of approaches. Option B. Decision analysis. Option C. Documentation of assumptions and constraints. Option D. Alternative generation. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Alternative generation. Question 23. Paul is the business analyst for his organization. He is examining a single solution to determine if the solution he and his team have identified carries enough business value to justify its implementation. What business analysis process is Paul performing in this scenario? Option A. Define transition requirements. Option B. Assess proposed solution. Option C. Assess organizational readiness. Option D. Allocate requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. Assess proposed solution. Question 24. You are the business analyst for your organization. Gary and Janet, two key stakeholders in the project, are in disagreement over a requirement for the type of software to be installed on the server your solution calls for. What must happen in this instance before formal approval can be offered? Option A. The conflict will need to be resolved through research, resolution, or through a third-party mediation. Option B. Gary and Janet will need to determine who has seniority in the company to determine which requirement takes precedence. Option C. The conflict will need to be removed from the solution scope until Gary and Janet come to a solution. Option D. The business analyst will need to make a decision on which requirement is most appropriate. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A. The conflict will need to be resolved through research, resolution, or through a third-party mediation. Question 25. One of the processes within requirements analysis is to prioritize requirements. As a business analyst, why would you ever want to prioritize requirements? Option A. You may need to determine the cost of each requirement. Option B. You may need to determine the schedule for each requirement. Option C. You may need to determine which requirements are most critical, so the analysis and implementation efforts focus on the most critical requirements. Option D. You may need to determine which requirements are most critical, so additional risk analysis can be completed on those requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. You may need to determine which requirements are most critical, so the analysis and implementation efforts focus on the most critical requirements. Question 26. You are the business analyst for your organization and are working with Jennifer to conduct stakeholder analysis. You would like to create a RACI chart to help with the roles of the people involved in the stakeholder analysis process. Jennifer is not familiar with this chart and asks, what does RACI mean? Which one of the following best describes the RACI chart in the conduct stakeholder analysis process? Option A. It's a matrix that uses the responsible, accountable, consult, and inform tasks as part of the stakeholder analysis process. Option B. It's a role and responsibility chart that identifies when stakeholders are needed in the business analyst duties. Option C. It's a matrix that uses role, action, consult, and inform as part of the conduct stakeholder analysis process. Option D. It's a rule that the business analyst can use to identify all of the needed stakeholders, roles, actions, communications, and interest. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. It's a matrix that uses the responsible, accountable, consult, and inform tasks as part of the stakeholder analysis process. Question 27. You are the business analyst for your organization. Management wants you to prioritize the identified requirements by the requirements that have the highest likelihood of success. Why would management want you to prioritize the requirements with this factor, even though some of the requirements may be difficult to implement? Option A. They want a fast return on investment. Option B. They want to show early success in the implementation to the project stakeholders. Option C. They don't understand the requirements. Option D. They want to avoid penalties or fines due to a pending law. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. They want to show early success in the implementation to the project stakeholders. Question 28. You are creating the solution scope for an identified problem in your organization. You are working with several stakeholders during this process, including the domain subject matter expert, the implementation subject matter expert, the project manager, and the sponsor. Which of these stakeholders will be responsible for writing the project scope? Option A. Domain subject matter expert. Option B. Business analyst. Option C. Project manager. Option D. Sponsor. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C. Project manager. Question 29. You have identified a task in your task list that cannot be completed until the inspector for the project signs off on the initial deliverables. The inspector's sign-off on the initial deliverables is called what? Option A. Assumption. Option B. Dependency. Option C. Milestone. Option D. Constraint. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Dependency. Question 30. Sally is the business analyst for her organization. Sally and her business analysis team is currently using a business analysis approach to determine what the competition of her organization is offering prospective clients. She is trying to identify solutions to increase revenue by remaining competitive with a competition. What business analysis approach is Sally and her business analysis team using? Option A. Business rules analysis. Option B. Functional decomposition. Option C. Focus groups. Option D. Benchmarking. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. Benchmarking. Question 31. You need to identify assumptions as part of the assessment of capability gaps. Which of the following is an example of an assumption? Option A. The project manager believes that her project team members can program in COBOL. Option B. All vendors must have security clearance. Option C. The software must be compatible with the current operating system. Option D. The risk in the project must be quantified. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. The project manager believes that her project team members can program in COBOL. Question 32. You are the business analyst for your organization and are to conduct stakeholder analysis. Which of the following statements best describes the conduct stakeholder analysis task? Option A. This task identifies organizations and lines of business that may be affected by a proposed initiative or who share a common business need. Option B. This task identifies stakeholders who may be affected by a proposed initiative or who share a common business need. Option C. This task identifies the organizations that are likely affected by a problem that a project must solve. Option D. This task identifies the people who may be affected by a proposed initiative or who share a common business need. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. This task identifies stakeholders who may be affected by a proposed initiative or who share a common business need. Question 33. When can changes to requirements occur in a business analysis planning and monitoring assignment? Option A. Change to requirements can occur any time before the project scope statement is created. Option B. Changes to requirements can occur at any time. Option C. Changes to requirements can occur any time after the project's change control system has been enacted. Option D. Change to requirements can occur at any time before the key stakeholders approve the identified requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Changes to requirements can occur at any time. Question 34. What does the T in SWOT analysis mean? Option A. Trial. Option B. Threats. Option C. Test. Option D. Time. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Threats. Question 35. You are the business analyst for the NGQ company. Management is concerned that their company is not able to meet an identified business need with their current existing structure, people, processes and technology. They've asked you to complete an analysis of their organization's ability to meet the identified business need. What business analysis process are you completing for your organization? Option A. Determining the solution approach. Option B. Assessing the capability gaps. Option C. Requirements elicitation. Option D. Verifying the requirements. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, assessing the capability gaps. Question 36. You are the business analyst for your organization and are working on prioritizing the project. Requirements. Management has asked you to prioritize the requirements based on the cost-benefit analysis for the requirements value to pay. Organization. What basis for prioritization are you using in this instance? Option A. Business value. Option B. Stakeholder agreement. Option C. Likelihood of success. Option D. Urgency. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, business value. Question 37. You are the business analyst for your organization and management has asked that you identify opportunities to improve the operations of A business. You notice that some of the stakeholders use several pieces of software and several duplicate activities within each software package to generate data reports for customers. What type of recommendation can you make in regard to this observation? Option A. You can address the automation of how the workers perform. Option B. You will need to perform active observation first to understand the processes in more detail. Option C. You can address the non-functional requirements of the activities. Option D. You will need to perform passive observation first to understand the processes in more detail. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. You can address the automation of how the workers perform. Question 38. You are the business analyst for your organization and are beginning the requirements analysis. Processes. Which one of the following statements best describes the requirements analysis processes? Option A. It ensures that analysis and implementation efforts focus on the most critical requirements. Option B. It covers the definition of stakeholder requirements, which describe what a solution must be capable of doing. Option C. It defines all of the work, and only the required work, to complete the project objectives. Option D. It is conformity to requirements and a fitness for use. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. It covers the definition of stakeholder requirements, which describe what a solution must be capable of doing. Question 39. Management has asked you, a business analyst for your organization, to create the solution scope for an identified problem. In order to complete this task, you'll need 3 elements. All of the following are elements you'll need in order to write the solution scope except for which? 1. Option A. Work breakdown structure. Option B. Implementation approach. Option C. Solution scope definition. Option D. Dependencies. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, work breakdown structure. Question 40. You are the business analyst for your organization and you are preparing the business case for a proposed solution. You need to include the management horizon in your business case. What is the management horizon? Option A. It is the expected deliverables that will be beneficial for the organization. Option B. It is the point in time when the solution will be completed. Option C. It is the duration of each phase of the project until the solution earns a profit. Option D. It is the point in time for the solution to break even on cost and begin earning a profit. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D. It is the point in time for the solution to break even on cost and begin earning a profit.